Hey everyone, it's your girl, My Gems.
And your boy Tony Benjamin, you already know.
And we're back again on another episode of Drop Your Gems 252. How's everyone doing? I'm glad y'all decided to tune in with us today and join us on another episode. Today's topic we're going to be discussing about,
trauma bond versus healthy relationships.
Yes, because a lot of us don't know exactly when we're in a trauma bond relationship until we're out of one. And if you're not aware of the things that you think are normal that aren't normal, in a way, because you've been surrounded by toxic stuff and seeing toxic relationship, you don't really know
You don't have a clear example of what healthy is, how healthy relationship is, unless you take time to educate yourself, and get some help or
do a deeper dive on yourself and ask yourself how you feel and why these feelings come up when certain things happen. And because when you start learning how to recognize your emotions and feelings that come up within certain relationships, you'll see yourself in the very moment that you're in, and you'll realize where you lacked in because in that moment you knew, because before you didn't know, but in that moment when you realize what pattern that you've been stuck in, because when you get stuck into a pattern, that's when it's consistently happening over and over. You don't know why you're even unaware of that pattern. Like, you don't even know why you're doing something or why you're attracting something, because you're not aware of this toxic pattern that you're so used to even seeing, or examples of these type of things that now you are doing. So
yeah, and it's so easy to fall into the routine, fall into that type of routine, because it becomes comfortable for you, because it's all you ever seen and it's pretty much all you know, until you become self-aware and start dealing with yourself, and face yourself in the mirror and take accountability for what you have going on, and because you're the common denominator in every relationship that you've ever been in. So,
and
if there's always a problem, you need to own up that you might be it. You need to, accept that you might be the problem.
Accountability is the first step. Recognizing and then taking accountability. And maybe it was me. Maybe I didn't realize I had some issues that I didn't, I was unaware of, that caused me to even, react this way. Like earlier today, there's a video. I'll probably see if we can find it. But it was the stepdad. He was fussing at the real father was fussing at the stepdad because he took his son to the barbershop to get his hair cut. And he came in there being all upset and rah-rah fussing at the stepdad, talking about, that's my son, how you gonna take, that's my child. He just was real loud and trying to, and the stepfather was really calm. He was not even trying. He was like, man, I ain't, the only thing about it I didn't like is the fact that when he was able to take his son, it was just how he took him. And when he called the mother and she was like, no, you haven't been around, and you ain't been paying child support. And he's like, I can pay that shit right now. Well, why you ain't pay it? Pay it. And the whole thing is the fact that he was just mad because somebody was willing to take up that responsibility, and he was showing out of his ego. That's that toxic unawareness in yourself, and that he was calling her a hoe, and like, no, you thought, what all this man was doing was taking his son to get his hair cut.
Yeah, but no, I totally agree.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been he just had an emotional reaction to what he considers quality time or a special thing between him and his son.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he might have felt like that was taken from him.
Yeah, I understand his feelings may have been hurt.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, he might have reacted emotionally. He lashed out emotionally instead of
his ego and his pride was hurt.
Yeah.
And it could have, even if he was right, he could have handled the situation a better way.
Yeah, that's
I'm
but
not-
that's
you
what I
know.
was about to say. That's a clear example of, you know, when your emotional unintelligence makes matters worse, so it gets you in a even worse situation. Now you went from that simple matter that could have been handled very, you know, with a casual conversation.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? He could have expressed himself about how he felt or whatever in a casual way. You know what I'm saying? Pull the man to the side. You know what I'm saying? Talk to him man to man and handled it that way.
Yeah. You know.
Instead, now he's fussing with the baby mama, and you know,
Overall, everybody looked kind of, you know,
yeah,
because he did take his son. He took his son out of the seat and said, "No, I'm taking him with me." And the stepdad didn't intervene because he was like, "That's his son. I ain't gonna intervene with that. If you want to take his son," even though the mom was like, he can't take him. He can't take him." She was like, you know, he was like, he just let him take him because he didn't want to. He was like, "I ain't finna fight that man over, you know, over that." And in my mind, everybody was asking who was right, who was wrong. And the people in the barbershop, they were over there like, "Man, you just gonna let him? You just gonna let him take him?" Like,
as he should.
yeah, everybody in the barbershop was like, "How he took him? Like, you gonna just let him take him?" And everybody was like, "That's his son." That's why I said two sides to it.
Yeah.
Because me, I'm like, you know.
I don't get me wrong, the stepdad. You know what I mean, by him staying calm and, you know, not escalating the situation. Right. Yeah, he handled it the right way, in a mature way.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He didn't fight. He didn't argue. He didn't even talk. He just was like avoiding him the whole time, like whatever, you know.
And as far as getting in the way of him taking his son, that could have
made
matters 10 times worse.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's why.
Very bad.
Man, I'm telling you, when you see people who are unemotionally, you know, like they don't have that emotional balance, it's like you can make the choice when you see where it's at, and you know you can make a better choice to avoid it, because people like that can, you know, do anything in that any moment, and you know, not realize what action they just did just because of their anger, and you know, you don't want to provoke it and make it even worse than what it already is, because sometimes people be waiting, asking for an opportunity to do something, and they might just, and who says matter could be worse. So, you know, everybody has a choice in that moment, but it was kind of like, well, dang, that's kind of, for that whole situation, it's kind of like, dang, like, he just could have reacted better. He could have just took him and be like, "Hey, I don't mean no harm," or whatever it is, but I'm about to get my son, and that's on me because it's my son, it's my time. But, you know, everybody doesn't have that emotional maturity yet, so, you know, I understand on that level. And it's no judgment, it's just, you know, when you look back on that moment and you see yourself, and you'll see how you let your emotions get the best of you, you'll learn from it later.
Maybe he never had an example of emotional intelligence to learn from coming up.
Exactly.
Maybe he didn't have that infrastructure in the house. You know what I'm saying? That foundation of a father and a mother. You know what I'm saying? Dynamic in the house. Maybe he didn't have that, so he didn't know. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. You don't know. He doesn't know.
What a healthy relationship, a healthy expression of emotion is. You know what I'm saying? He maybe never had a clear example of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that leads to. Lashing out emotionally and making matters always make matters worse than what they need to be. And sometimes never having a solution to whatever problem triggered the emotion. You know what I'm saying? Right. And at the end of the day, your triggers are your triggers. And you're responsible for your happiness. So if you remove the trigger, then, you know what I'm saying, you can't be, you know what I mean?
You can't be provoked.
You can't be provoked. Yeah,
that's what I was. Yeah, whenever you see that you feel that coming, you knew it, you understand it, and you let it go. You don't hold on to it, and you don't react to it with what you feel it, because I have came to, like, earlier today when I dropped my noodles on the floor, I was like, I was literally like, I had just got it out the oven, my chicken, put my noodles and everything. And the whole situation was funny because I had slightly burnt them. I was standing there the whole time and I was scrolling. So they slightly got burnt, but I was like, ooh, I still can save them because on the top they ain't burnt. But I was like, oh, they a little, but it's all right. I'm about to eat them. And then it was just like, all right, put them on my plate. Pick it up. The plate was a little too hot, so my hands got shaky and it just dropped. And I stood there and I looked, and I just was like, you know what? And then luckily I had put some aside because I was going to leave some for Trey and Tony. And all of a sudden, I was like, nah, I'm sorry, Tony. You don't want them. You ain't finna get them right now because I just dropped half of the rest of them. So it was funny, though, because I didn't even get upset. I felt it. I felt the frustration and then I just was like, no, I ain't gonna let these noodles make me mad. I was like, I'm gonna let it go. So I'm constantly being tested on how I should be reacting in situations, constantly learning how to build my reactions so I won't let the little things make me feel some type of way, because I can't control anything other than myself. Even if I could have controlled it from falling, I couldn't control the fall that it fell. Like, it's there. It was already falling when I wanted to stop. So it was like, what am I going to do? Get mad? It's already done. So I just accepted it.
and it's funny because that's how life be life. Like, every day it be a series of little small, annoying little shit.
Little reminders
that happen. You know what I'm saying? And you can either let them ruin your day, upset you, mess with your mood at the moment, or you can,
you can
analyze it, and keep it pushing. Like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah, like, okay, what did I learn in this moment? Because instead of getting upset, I obviously need to learn something in this moment. And it may be a little pride, a little ego that might get checked in those moments, but and we all need to be checked sometimes.
Yeah.
We all got to check ourselves, because we be like, all right, like we said when he was like, maybe it's us, maybe we're the problem.
Yeah, like even when I be at work, like I might drop something, or I might hit my hand up against something, and 9 times out of 10, I was moving too fast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was moving too fast, and I wasn't really looking at how close I was to something, or and I just shit happens.
Right.
But it was me. It wasn't. I can't be mad at nobody but me. That's
what you're gonna be like. That. See, my mistakes are mine and mine only, and that was me. And that's. I guess it was something that had to happen. That's what else am I gonna do?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be thinking of, like, I always look at myself like a Sims character. Like, if I was playing myself in the game and I knew myself and I knew how to get me, and I was like, well, what would make me mad, but also know that I need to know that this is just a test for me, because I know me. Like, oh, why does this happen? Oh, wait, why is this happening? What is this supposed to teach me now? Because before it was always why. Instead, now I'm going, what am I teaching? What am I learning from this moment? Because the moment I see where I need to learn from it is when I start to change. And those patterns, they stop coming, and then they all just, all the patterns just go away.
Facts.
So, I know for a fact that at the end of the day, you for you.
Facts.
Because you are a reflection. You project your own life.
Yeah, and think about it. Why would you let somebody else be responsible for your happiness?
Exactly.
Like, that's your happiness. Why would you give that to someone else to bring it to fruition, to make you happy? Why would you hand that over, that precious gift right there, your happiness? Your happiness is a gift. And you can choose that anytime you feel like it.
There's levels to happiness, y'all. And the goal is to get to happiness. You go from happy to happier to happy-is to happiness. There's levels to it. One moment, and then in between you got the downs and the ups and the downs and the ups and the ups and downs and everything. You're not always happy. And that's because if you're always happy, then you're just delusional. Because, we know life is life be life, and then you have a right to, feel how you feel and, process those, just don't stay there. So it's like we all be having our ups and downs, and we're still learning. When we're down, we have to learn from what we need to learn from when we're in that position. in that moment. It's like, once again, what am I learning from this? And, you know, I promise you, if you look at things in that light, things will be so much better. Your life will be a lot more happier. You will reach that goal, and that pursuit of happiness will be there because you choose it. Whether you wanted whether the situation that happened, whether you wanted it or not, you still chose a way to feel happy for something to keep you moving forward, even when everything is not.
It's like I seen something online. I'm trying to remember who it was. Like, but it was some guy speaking. He was like, life is like basically like a graph, a stock line or something. He's like, you'll see it starts to go up, and you'll be happy, and then it'll level a little bit, then it goes down, and then it goes. When it goes down a little bit, yeah, it may seem like it's bad, but then it shoots up again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how it goes through life. It goes up, down a little, up, down a little, up, but you never.
It's just like your heartbeat. You know, even your heartbeat is like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's not because
you're never at the same. The first, you're never as low as you was before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you keep moving forward, you'll never be as low as you was previously. The last time life was life, so to speak.
Yeah, and with that graph being said, you know, the heartbeat going up and down, and we know what happens when the beat stops. It's a straight line, and nothing in life is a straight line, because if it was a straight line, it would be dead, you know? So obviously everybody has to realize that we have our ups and we have our downs, and we learn from each level. We learn from the upper levels and we're down in the lower level, because I bet right now from all the gamers out there, we play the level and we'll play it over and over until we figure out how to get the game right. And, you know, it takes those repeated tries to get to that, to get past that lesson. And you're not gonna feel less of yourself because you failed the first time or the second time or the third time. That you're not gonna let those failures define you. You just know that you can keep going.
And each time you get a little bit further than you got before.
You get a little bit stronger, and you get a little wiser. You just get more when you pursue more. You don't be stuck. You don't allow the game to defeat you. You find a way to defeat the system.
Yeah, because failure gives you knowledge, and the trick is to apply that knowledge. Mm-hmm. There is your power. Is when you apply the knowledge that you accumulated.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When you fail, you take in a lot of information. Mm-hmm. You know how you failed. You know where you failed at. You know what decisions you made to lead up to that failure.
Oh, and why, not to cut you off, but just like One Piece, Luffy, that's a prime example of his characteristics. He will not back down, and when he can admit to a defeat and learn from that defeat, and he will find a way to go and get stronger to be able to defeat where he know he can.
Oh yeah, he coming back for smoke.
Yeah, and he knows he can. There's one thing about, and he's never going to do it alone. That's one thing about it. You can still have the strength, but the strength of having it is just not knowing how, but knowing you will. And he had the whole crew. He can have 1,000 people behind him and still not think that still not doubt himself. Like, he already knew he was going to do whatever he had to go, regardless if they were there or not. Right. But they still were included in the victory at the end of the day, because he already knew, and they believed in him because he believed in himself.
Yeah, look for that guy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's good. Like, that's what it's about. Never giving up, never surrendering to whatever it is that you're going through. Like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna go through things, and you're gonna meet people that's going through things. And some people get comfortable in their trauma.
Yeah, I would say one thing you have to watch out for is once you start to heal and the petals start to fall, those that were attached to you, they want to try to hold on to your light, and if they're not doing the work to get where you're to your level, they'll try to cling on to you and use the trauma bond and things that the versions of you that you already shedded to kind of hold on to you. And it's like, we like cicadas out here, we come and we shed and we leave our shell, and they be picking up the shell thinking that they could just be like, hey, I mean, this is the part of you I remember. I don't know this version, but I'm here because I refuse to shed my shell. So I just want to hold on to your shell. Like I need that.
This is the version of you I remember.
Yeah, this is the one I want. And
this is the version. Yeah.
Like to one for one, it's impossible for me to go back to that version. But they want you to go back. Like I've outgrown it. I've left it. It's shed. It's hard. It's no longer even. It's not even able for me to even put that back on. Like it's impossible at that moment. And it's like for you to even want to see me at that and not where I'm at now. I'm going to leave you where you at because you don't see me where I see myself.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do what it takes to elevate or evolve.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Which is a better word.
And you want to play victim, that's on you. And playing victim is only going to get you but so far. And victim mentality is not a healthy trait, not a healthy characteristic to have or be or do or, try to gain, because those things that you gain playing the victim are only shortcomings. Like they only come and they only last but for short times because, you're depending on the energy of others and to help you. And the only thing that can really help you is if you help yourself.
Facts. Think about it. Like you're in a relationship. You're not doing what it takes to, to heal or face yourself or whatever, and you meet somebody that's doing the same thing on that same time as you. From the beginning, the whole relationship is toxic. Because you're only with each other because y'all going through similar situations, and y'all can compare trauma. You can compare trauma and drama.
And nobody's
going through.
Yeah, because there's no solving and no doing. It's just trauma and drama. How you going to be solving and doing? Instead, your trauma, you just bonding and trauma. That shit is not. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I want to heal from my trauma. I want to grow from my trauma. I want to learn from my trauma. I want to treat my trauma. Like I want to, learn that, because I learned that everybody got trauma in this world, whether they want to admit it or not. It's a little bit of trauma in every bit of us. And we got to learn to know what those trauma triggers are, because we out here walking walking cannons. And at the moment somebody push that or light that fire, you explode because you don't know where and who even sparked it in the first place. You just know it was sparked, and now you just got to explode. And if you're a walking, ticking time bomb waiting for someone to do it, and you have no emotional intelligence or balance with that, it could be detrimental to everybody. You could just explode. Literally.
And if you have any healthy relationships in your life, you could ruin those.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just by not dealing with what you need to deal with personally, like doing the work you need to do to heal from your trauma.
It's like trying to shoot a gun and didn't learn how to shoot, and now you just shoot it, and then you randomly just, And it's like you don't have aim because you didn't learn how to aim, and now by your lack of knowledge, you've hurting someone. And that's where a lot of people nowadays, young people, that goes to our last episode when we talked about gun violence. You got a lot of people out here that's young, holding on to things, using things that they have no business to even use it, because one, they're not properly trained, and two, just because it's available doesn't mean they should even have access to it.
Right.
But because it's that choice that was made, everybody has a choice. And it's like, yeah, you can only move off of the way you can move, but the sad part about it is them making choices can be detrimental to everyone around them, because they're in a unhealthy, toxic place.
Yeah, even accepting the fact that they have access to all types of firearms and weaponry. Mm-hmm. Like, what they don't have in abundance of is emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And they have no clear examples of that. You know what I'm saying? Everything's for clout. And then they get in situations, they don't know how to process their feelings or emotions, and they lash out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, matters always get worse. People get seriously injured, or people die.
And that's where
it's that simple.
You gotta learn to get that self-control in control, because why are you allowing everyone and anyone to have that power and control? You literally got your matches lit on your side with the burner on your ass, and they you just take a match and burn me, because obviously I'm giving y'all the power to control my emotions because I'm given access to anyone and everyone. Anyone could get it. And it's like, why? When it's only going to affect you more, because at the end of the day, yeah, they're going to get theirs, but you're the one, you're the doer, you're the one that's doing, and you're the only one that's going to reap what you sow from whatever action that you've done in those moments. So you have to think about what things and what choices you're making that will cause a domino effect. And I still do things to this day where I'm like, dang it, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I'm disappointing myself. I take accountability. I don't beat myself up. I think about it. I do, and then I let it go. I'm like, I'm going to judge myself before I let anybody else judge me. And it's not even that I'm judging myself. I'm accepting it. I'm going, okay, what do I need to learn from this situation still? Because I still learn, and I'm like, okay, I bet you I won't do it again.
Yeah, and if it's something that I was completely wrong here, and I need to rectify the situation, I rectify it. I'm man enough to address it and rectify whatever situation it is I may have caused or may have been involved in. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with taking accountability for your own actions. You know what I'm saying? And that'll help you continue to have a healthy relationship with whomever you may have had the disagreement with. You know
Exactly. That's why I say having a healthy relationship takes a lot of work. It is choosing to have a healthy relationship. It is choosing to do better. It is choosing every day to make that choice to be where you are today or at that moment. Even whether it's good or bad, you made those choices. And every day you make a choice to lead you to the next choice. And, I'm going to choose always to make choices that better keep me at my peace. Always have a peace of mind. My peace is, I want my peace to always be the priority. Like, my priority is that. And, I feel like everyone should focus on, how they feel wherever they go. Like, acknowledge your feelings. Don't dismiss them, feel the energies and know, what you might be knowing, maybe what you need to know, but you may need to get a little more to get a little more lesson out of it. So it's like, acknowledge it, feel it, and then, when you realize maybe you were right, you were right. And don't beat yourself up when you realize, hey, I was right when I thought I was wrong. And that's the part of learning, hey, maybe I should start listening to myself a lot more.
Right.
So, and when you start doing those decisions and making those type of choices, you'll start leading yourself into a healthier environment, more healthier people around, more healthier situations and people to be around.
Right. So you make better decisions going forward. You'll attract high vibrating people who match that frequency. You'll find yourself in better situations than you normally would, would be in. That benefit you and propel you to new heights. You know what I'm saying?
Everything will be new to you because it's a new you. It's a you that you never even knew.
Facts.
So therefore, with that being said, love is always the best choice. And loving yourself is the first person you need to love overall.
Right.
Love yourself so that others can love you, so that you can show others how to love you. That being said, we're gonna end it right there.
As always, she gonna keep it spiritual, I'm gonna keep it lyrical.